If I could sit down with every first-time home buyer before they start the process, there are a few things I would make sure they understood first. Not because they're complicated, but because not knowing them is what causes the most stress, confusion, and expensive mistakes I see. And the truth is, most people don't realize these things until it's too late. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 3 things I wish every buyer understood before they bought a home. These aren't generic tips. They're patterns I've seen over and over again working with real clients. And if you understand these going in, you're going to feel more confident, make better decisions, and avoid a lot of unnecessary stress. Because buying a home shouldn't feel overwhelming. It should feel clear, structured, and like it's going according to plan. Let me start with this. Most of the stress people feel during the home buying process doesn't come from the process itself. It comes from not understanding what's happening. And I see this all the time. Someone comes into the process unsure, trying to piece things together from Google, social media, maybe something they heard from a friend. And it creates this constant feeling of, am I doing this right? But the moment they understand their numbers, their options, and what happens next, everything changes. The process doesn't feel stressful anymore. It feels manageable. And if you're at that early stage right now where you're trying to figure out how to even start, I put together something called a 90-day homeownership game plan. It gives you a step-by-step focus so you're not guessing your way through this. It's in the description. Use it as a roadmap, not pressure. Let's start with one of the biggest surprises for buyers, closing costs. And here's the problem. Most people either don't understand they exist or underestimate what they actually are. They think, I've got my down payment, I'm good. But that's not the full picture. Closing costs can include lender fees, title fees, escrow costs, prepaid taxes and insurance. And depending on the situation, that can add up to thousands of dollars. This is where I've seen people get caught off guard. They're excited, they're ready, and then they see the full breakdown and think, wait, where did all this come from? Now instead of feeling confident, they feel uncertain. This is why it's never too early to build a home buying game plan. Because when you know what's coming, it doesn't feel like a surprise. It just feels like part of the plan. This one is huge. And honestly, this is where I see a lot of people make expensive mistakes. People get locked into one thing. What's the lowest rate I can get? And I understand why. It's the easiest number to compare. But here's the reality. Rate is just one piece of the mortgage experience. And this is the part nobody explains. A lower rate doesn't always mean a better deal. Because sometimes the lower rate comes with higher fees. I had a client who was so focused on getting the lowest rate possible that they didn't realize they were paying thousands of dollars to get it. They were working with another lender, and what frustrated them at first wasn't even the numbers. It was the experience. Slow responses, vague answers, feeling like they were getting the runaround. So they reached out to me. And when I actually broke down the numbers for them, they found that they were paying way more than they needed to just to get a slightly lower rate. And nobody had clearly explained that to them. That's the trade-off that people don't see. You can have a great rate with high fees and poor service, or a balanced loan that actually fits your situation better. It's like buying something on sale, but paying more in hidden costs than you save. It looks like a good deal on the surface, but it's not when you zoom out. The smartest move isn't chasing the lowest rate. It's understanding the full picture. Rate, fees, structure, and service. If this is helping you see the process a little more clearly, go ahead and subscribe. My goal here is to help you understand how this actually works, not just throw numbers at you. This is the one that holds people back the most, waiting for the perfect situation, perfect rates, perfect timing, perfect savings, perfect everything. And it sounds smart, but in reality, it keeps people stuck. Here's where most people get this wrong. They think the goal is perfection, but the goal is clarity. Waiting for the perfect combination of rates and fees is not a strategy, because while you're waiting, the market's still moving. Prices change, opportunities shift. And there are always going to be variables you can't control. The buyers who move forward confidently aren't the ones who timed everything perfectly. They're the ones who understand their numbers, understand their options, and made an informed decision. The smartest home buyers are the ones who get all the information, and then they make educated decisions, not decisions based on the news, social media, or their Uncle John's opinion from the family barbecue. Clarity beats perfection every time. And if you're in that stage where you're trying to sort through all of this, numbers, options, timing, this is exactly what I help people with every day. If you're thinking about buying or refinancing and want clarity on your specific situation, I'd be happy to help. There's a link in the description where you can schedule a time or grab a free guide to get started. If you zoom out, all three of these come back to the same idea. Most problems in home buying don't come from bad decisions. They come from unclear decisions, not understanding costs, focusing on the wrong things, waiting for something that doesn't exist. But when you have clarity, the process feels completely different. It doesn't feel stressful. It feels structured. It feels like you're in control, and it feels like you're going according to plan. So if you're thinking about buying a home, don't wait until you feel ready. Focus on getting clear. Understand your numbers, understand your options, and understand the process. Once you do that, you'll realize it isn't nearly as overwhelming as it seems from the outside. If this helped you feel more confident about the process, make sure to subscribe. And if you want to keep learning, check out one of these next videos. I'll walk you through how much house you can actually afford and the biggest mistakes to avoid.